So today we're going to be building a laying box out of a pallet. Stay tuned. Okay, so to prove that you don't have to be a great artist, I'm going to show you my little sketch here. Okay, so what I'll be using for this project, as far as tools, we've got a square, we've got a tape measure, a pencil, some number 2 general purpose. These happen to be yellow zinc. I like these better than like a phosphorus if it's going to be outdoors. The finish lasts a little bit longer. And of course your circular saw or whatever it is that you're going to do the cutting of the boards with. So pretty quickly I decided I was going to do more nailing. So I've got a framing nailer shooting 2 3/8 inch nails. You could shoot whatever you want. You can shoot 3.5 inch if that's what the nails you've got. I just happen to have some 2 3/8. And then I also have a finish nailer shooting 2.5 inch nails. And this will be primarily the one that I use for tacking. And then of course I've got a little pancake compressor. One note, anytime you are using a nailer for the first time in usually a couple days, you always want to add 2 to 3 drops of oil to each one. That just helps lubricate, keep your O-rings and stuff lubricated. Gives you more life in your gun. So I'm going to start doing that. Okay, so now that I've got my basic idea on paper, what I want to do is actually want to start making some measurements. Alright, so this is going to be our bottom piece here. And then make sure you want to pick the straightest of all the boards for your bottom support. And then we're going to do the top piece. The top piece we know is going to be the same width, so we can just go ahead and mark that one. Now we're going to measure from the back end to the front end, and we know that we want 12 inches going forward, so we actually want to make this 12.5 inches, not 12 inches. Okay, so now these are our support pieces, so that's pretty square right there. So I'm just going to tack this a couple times, and that'll hold it in place. We'll do the same thing on the other side here. Tack it. Alright, so there's our bottom piece. Okay, so for our top piece here, we want to make sure that we've got 12 inches of space minimum. And like I said, for me, I'm going to leave this top open, but I'll go ahead and narrate through once we get to that point how you can make adjustments to fit whatever your needs are. So I'm going to have a 1x piece going across the front there as my front lip. I'm going to square this up, make sure the ends are flush. Now, For this one here, I actually need to change to screws, because if I shot this, I'd end up with about a 1/2 inch sticking out. Now we can go back to our nailer. And the reason I like to tack these with a nailer first is because if you put it in with a screw, you can't really maneuver the wood around as much, whereas if you've got the nail in, you can kind of wiggle it a little bit if you're just a little bit off, but it holds it in place. It's almost like an extra set of hands for you. So we'll go ahead and cut our 12-inch piece for this side. Shoot a couple holding nails in there. Okay, so here's our basic laying box design now. If you were wanting to actually do, say you were going to have area above that the chickens could access, you may want to actually raise these rear supports higher and then actually cut a slope, whether it's 30 degrees or 45 degrees or whatever, and then you can actually have a slope, which makes it harder for the chickens to sit on. So there's going to be less poop up there. They won't be standing wherever you don't want them necessarily to stand. Okay, so I was just doing some thinking, which is partly what I enjoy about doing kind of the construction as you go, is you kind of can work out, you can get yourself into some problems too, but I enjoy problem solving. It feels like it's less work, keeps you on your toes. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put in a board on the bottom. Anybody know where I put my pencil? There we go. Here. So we've got the side pieces, we've got the bottom pieces, and then we'll see if we're going to change up the front at all. Okay, so we've got our sides in, and I've got this extra little piece of something, not sure how to do. Let's play with it a little bit. Let's see what this looks like when it's on. I always like to leave just a little bit instead of coming all the way to the point. I like to leave a little bit of structure right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to mark the underside with the pencil. Okay, so then the last step here, at least for what I'm doing, is anywhere that I was using the finish nailer to tack, I'm going to start using this sucker. right, so there we go. This is the open top version of a laying box made out of a pallet. And then to attach this, all you need to do is either run some screws or nail this into a wall or find some studs and you're all set. You can also mount it from behind, screw it in from the opposite side. If you've got access to the back side of the wall, just use the appropriate length screws. If you wanted to have a top for this, rather than using these supports that I put on here, you could just run and tack into the 1x on either side and just run your 28-inch. I wouldn't run it all the way. You want to make a little bit of room, I think, for them to be able to get up in there, but they still should have pretty good amount of room either way. So thanks for joining us today. Thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, give us a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Click the subscribe button below, and you can click the bell and turn on notifications. It'll let you know when we have new content. Hope you have a great day, and thanks for joining us.